Welcome back to Homemaking with Mima. My name is Wendy, and in today's video, I need to get some baking done. We need to have some sweet treats, and I'm going to bring you along with me. So for the sweet treats that I'm going to be making, and most of it's going to go into the freezer. I'm going to be making a regular box cake mix, and I'm going to be putting in some cocoa mix packets, as you see right here. We'll get into that in a minute. And I have a lot of old-fashioned oats, and I need to start using them. So I'm going to make some oatmeal cookies, and I believe this recipe I have made before. I don't remember because I didn't. Usually I'll write on my recipes if I've tried them, good and keep. Well, I didn't with that one. So I'm going to make these oatmeal cookies. I will also put, if they're edible, if they're good, I'll put the recipe in the description box below. And you can see it has a lot of ingredients. I've got old-fashioned oats, brown sugar, regular sugar, salt, cinnamon, vanilla. I have cornstarch down there. I have baking soda, regular all-purpose flour. I'm using butter instead of shortening for the fat, eggs, walnuts, and these are optional, walnuts, butterscotch, and chocolate chips, but I have walnuts to still use up. I have a package of butterscotch chips to use up. It's like half full, and I do have some mini chocolate chips. So I'm going to incorporate those in with the oatmeal cookies as well. To the cake mix. So I've made these before, I believe in 2 different videos, and they turn out great. So I'm going to do it again. It's just a box of cake mix. Make it according to the directions. I've added in up to 3 packets of cocoa mix, so that's what I'm going to do. And I did this trying to use up old cocoa mix, and it actually turned out good. Yes, I have a yellow cake mix. Yes, I'm going to be using, I chose this one this time, dark chocolate cocoa mix. But you know what? I had that on hand, and I have that on hand that it's summertime now. Cocoa mix didn't get used, so it's going to. I've made it before with the salted caramel. That was really good. That was really good. So I'll just bring you along for that one. Won't get into any details. Like I had said, follow the directions on the box, add the mix, put it into your pans, cook it according to the directions on the box. And that's it for that. But I am making a double recipe of the oatmeal cookies because now this is how long it's been since I've made cookies. I have not made cookies in this new stand mixer, and I can double the recipe without having any issues. So, yay, I'm going to do that. In the mixer, I have the sugar and the butter, and I'm going to combine them together, cream them, and then I'll bring you over to the table. I have everything pre-measured out because it took me a little bit to get it all figured out, and then I'm like, why don't you just write a double recipe on the recipe card? So then I did that. So let me bring you over to the table and I'll show you the rest of the ingredients that's going to go inside of it. So in here, I have all the oats over there, called for 6 cups because I'm doubling it. I have the eggs and the vanilla. I always do that for almost any kind of baking that I do. I scramble up the eggs a little bit, and I always put the vanilla in there if it calls for that, or almond extract, any extracts that you have. I have the flour, baking soda, salt, cornstarch, and I think am I missing anything? Cinnamon, all in here. So that's going to go in together. You know, first I'll get the butter and the sugar creamed, then I will add the eggs, then I will add the flour mixture, then I will add the oatmeal, and the very last I'll add these. This is what I'm putting in. So I chopped up some walnuts. I had half a bag of butterscotch chips, and I have these, they're mini chocolate chips. I have probably 2/3 of a cup, 3/4 of a cup of that. For additional add-ins that are optional, it says a total of 3 cups. That's not going to total 3 cups, but I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to get this all stirred together. Well, thank goodness I had the big mixer, because doubling this recipe, even this mixer struggled. This is a really thick batter. I pulled out my wooden spoon. It is really thick, and I'm just going along the sides, kind of scraping it down. Because I'm going to let this rest and let the oats absorb some of the mixture, or some of the liquids that are in there. I'm going to bake off a few, and the rest I'm just going to make into cookie balls and freeze them. Here's the rest of that cookie dough that I had made. I'm going to flash freeze it. Then tomorrow I'll get a bag. I'll label that bag, what it is, what to cook it at, and how long to cook it. But because they're going to be frozen, it's going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to just write that on the bag as well. So this is future cookie dough, actually future cookies for us to turn to, instead of running uptown to the Dairy Queen for a sweet. We tend to do that. So I'm going to start on making those bundt cakes, and I didn't take out enough eggs to bring them to room temperature. So here's a trick. You take however many eggs that you want or you need for a recipe, put them in a bowl and put hot tap water on them and let them sit for a couple minutes, and that will bring the coolness of the eggs down a little bit, because you don't ever want straight out of the refrigerator eggs when you're doing any kind of baking or any of that. So that's my tip. So I've got the cake mix in the bowl. I'm going to follow the directions on the back, but I'm going to add in those Swiss Miss cocoa packets. They're dark chocolate flavor. I've got 3 of them. So I'm going to mix those in. And I've just been reusing some of my bowls that weren't really yucky dirty from when I made the oatmeal cookies, because why not? I didn't want dirty any more bowls. So it's not going to be a yellow cake mix. It's going to end up being a chocolate cake mix. My eggs are at room temperature, and I always poke the yolks and give them a pre-mix. It just helps. It's always something I've done. The oil, the water, and now mix. All right, so this baking day is done for me. I have some extra cookies in the freezer that we can pull out for more sweet treats when we need them down the road. I used up some of the old-fashioned oats that was something that I wanted to do. For a second treat, I made the box cake that I put in the hot chocolate mixes in with it. I've done that before. If I find that video, I'll put it in the description box below. But I kind of brought you along with it today anyway. So, and I used a recipe out of my white binder, and I have a dentist appointment today, so I really didn't want to eat a cookie, but I'll take one for the team. So it broke real nice. I'll bring the cookie in a little closer so you can get a closer look. All right, so I showed you what it looked like. It was soft to break it apart, so it is a soft cookie. Those butterscotch chips just kick it up. And then I had some mini semi-sweet chocolates, so that gives you chocolate craving. And then I have nuts to use up, so I just threw them in there as well. These turned out really good. Definitely a repeat. So I'm going to make sure that I write tested good on this recipe so it's a keeper for the binder. I will also have the recipe in the description box below. All right, that's going to wrap all this up. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share with family and friends, and I want you folks to make it a really great day.